breaking news of Devin Haney and JoJo Diaz. They both have agreed to fight each other next in November. It all started when Devin Haney called out JoJo Diaz on Twitter by stating, and I quote, "I did not watch JoJo's sorry ass, but it's funny that he called out Ryan when he is my mandatory now." Then Devin Haney responded to a fan who said JoJo called them both out. That's when Devin Haney responded by stating, "What's the point of calling out Ryan first when he's my mandatory?" A few moments later, JoJo Diaz responded by stating, and I quote, "Shut your goofy ass up and let's fight by the end of this year." That's when Devin Haney went straight to the business by stating October ? Where JoJo Diaz responded with November, we got a deal. So Devin Haney responded right back with bet. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we have a fight in our hands. So go ahead and get y'all popcorns ready and mark y'all calendars because it's going down like a plane crash. Therefore, come November, we do not want to hear JoJo Diaz versus Ryan Garcia or anybody else other than Devin Haney. Because when it comes to Devin Haney, we done seen multiple fighters that agree to fight him when Devin Haney calls them out. But when it's time to fight, they find a way to pull out and turn down the fight for no reason whatsoever. And shockingly, these fighters happen to be pound for pound champions, contenders, and even mandatories, believe it or not. We've seen it all, from the Gary Russells to the Lomachenkos, Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia, Javier Fortuna, Luke Campbell, and even Gervonta. So the million-dollar question, will JoJo Diaz be added to the list of fighters that avoided Devin Haney, or is JoJo Diaz an exception? Because we have seen this story unfold too many damn times. Just this year alone, Lomachenko agreed to fight Devin Haney in May, and as soon as he received a 7-figure offer to fight for Devin Haney championship belt, the WBC, Lomachenko turned that fight down in order to fight Nakatani for no title at all for only $500,000. I kid you not. We also have Teofimo Lopez and Ryan Garcia. This year alone, just like Lomachenko, they petitioned to the WBC not to fight Devin Haney. Let that sink in. Fighters usually petition to fight. However, these fighters from Teofimo Lopez, Ryan, and Lomachenko, they petitioned not to fight Devin Haney for the biggest amount of money they would have made in their entire career. And now it's JoJo Diaz's turn. He will end up receiving an offer bigger than he had ever made. It will be his biggest payday till this day by far. And to put icing on the cake, it's for a title shot. So this is both a money and a legacy fight for JoJo Diaz. Therefore, JoJo Diaz have no reason whatsoever to turn down this fight after he agreed to fight Devin Haney, especially for the biggest payday and a title shot, in order to fight a Ryan Garcia perhaps, who's on an anxiety vacation as we speak. I could guarantee you that JoJo Diaz will make more money fighting Devin Haney than he would fighting a Ryan Garcia. Plus is also for a title shot, something Ryan Garcia doesn't have, unless JoJo Diaz is more interested in Ryan Garcia Instagram championship title, since Ryan is the undisputed social media champion, hands down. Nevertheless, we shall see if JoJo Diaz is going to follow the footsteps of Javier Fortuna, Luke Campbell, and Ryan Garcia by petitioning not to fight Devin Haney as the mandatory in order to fight someone else in another title eliminator for Devin Haney title, like they all did. Or if JoJo will do the right thing by petitioning to fight Devin Haney after he earned his mandatory position by beating Javier Fortuna. After all, that's why he fought Javier Fortuna, is to put himself in position to fight for Devin Haney WBC title. Therefore, this is a great matchup, and time will definitely tell of what JoJo Diaz chooses to do. Let's see if he does keep his word, since your word is your bond. Because one thing for sure and two things for certain, there are classes of boogeymen in the sport of boxing. However, Devin Haney is the A-class boogeyman for a reason. When everybody was hyping up Lomachenko, Devin Haney became Lomachenko mandatory, where he forced Loma to wave the white flag and request witness protection franchise by giving up his own title to Devin Haney in order to duck Devin Haney. See, that's what tends to happen when you become a mandatory and you really want to fight the champion by petitioning to actually fight the champion. So when JoJo Diaz was going around claiming that Devin Haney avoided Javier Fortuna, he knows that's not true, because Javier Fortuna was Devin Haney mandatory, and he petitioned not to fight Devin Haney, but instead to fight Luke Campbell and Linares. On the other hand, Devin Haney petitioned to fight both Javier Fortuna and Ryan Garcia. These are facts. But the zone commentators from Todd Grisham and Chris Mannix, aka Race Mannix, they had the audacity to lie on air and claim Devin Haney avoided Fortuna, even though Fortuna own manager, Sampson, admitted that Fortuna avoided Devin Haney on 3 different occasions. He turned down the fight. So is this what the world coming into? We have boxing experts, supposedly, they want to lie on fighters' name that they work for? It makes no sense at all. Because if Race Mannix and Todd Grisham know anything about boxing, they should know if Devin Haney did avoid Javier Fortuna, let's say, then Devin Haney would not be the WBC champion today. It will be Javier Fortuna. Devin Haney will be stripped of his WBC title the exact same way Lomachenko was stripped of his WBC title when he avoided Devin Haney as his mandatory. But we all know Devin Haney still has his WBC title to this day. So what does that tell you? That tells you that it was Javier Fortuna that petitioned not to fight Devin Haney. So it's Javier Fortuna that ducked Devin Haney. And Race Mannix and Todd Grisham, they know this. They know a champion cannot avoid his mandatory. And if he does, he will be stripped of his title the way Lomachenko was. However, they don't care because they got to push their racist agenda. But guess what? They tried to give JoJo Diaz more credit for beating Javier Fortuna by pushing this narrative, but it all backfired since now JoJo Diaz has to face Devin Haney since he is Devin Haney mandatory. So keep the same energy, don't flip. When Devin Haney does fight JoJo Diaz, give Devin Haney his credit. This is exactly why Race Mannix and Tom Grisham, they did not bring up Devin Haney at all during the Javier Fortuna versus JoJo Diaz fight. They kept bringing up Ryan Garcia, even though it should have been Ryan versus Javier Fortuna instead of JoJo versus Javier Fortuna. But they want to ignore Devin Haney, who's coming off a spectacular performance, to bring up Ryan, who's on an anxiety vacation. Think about that. JoJo and Javier Fortuna are fighting for Devin Haney WBC Eliminator. But they do not bring up Devin Haney at all. And I mean literally the whole night. We all know what time it is. When you're a fighter on the coincidental list, you have the complexion for the neglection. And last but not least, ain't it crazy that Devin Haney, after he got hurt by Linares, everyone had so much to say. But he still avoided today, just as bad as he was avoided yesterday, and the day before that, and the year before that. With that being stated, drop your thoughts in the comment section below, subscribe below, and click on the notification bell to be continued on the next episode of Akhi TV. Peace, and I'm on to the next one.
Well, see, after when he wins if he wants to fight me.
I
And
think the winner is ordered to fight you,
yeah,
right?
that him or Fortuna, it don't matter.
Yeah, the winner is ordered to fight you. So if JoJo Diaz is victorious, wouldn't that be his biggest payday? Because he said he's looking for the biggest fights. So this is his biggest fight yet as far as payday and winning a world title in a new division. So
Of course,
if,
I'd be
yeah,
his. He makes no money, and when he do make money, his team take all his money. You can look it up. His team take all his money. He walks away with nothing. So of course, I'd be by far his biggest payday. And Russell beat him at what? What weight? 126.
126.
Yeah. So come on now.
Do you think he will fight you for his biggest payday if it comes down to it
We'll
and the
see.
offer is presented?
Hey, this boxing shit crazy. I didn't see motherfuckers do the unthinkable. So we just got to see. I can't speak. I mean, I hope I'm willing to face my mandatories. I have no problem with that.
Javier Fortuna being one of Sampson's champions, coming up the ladder. I said to Sampson, I said, let's make it happen. No way you get Javier Fortuna. I said, okay. Have I said the story right, Mr. Sampson?
I need to tell you the truth, like always I talk. It's precise exactly what happened. Finally, you got me. Like I'm like a mouse next to a big cat. I cannot run anymore.
Okay.
And if I feel that I cannot beat him, like Mr. Lopez asked for $10 million,
Oh,
that's the reason that he believes he cannot beat Haney. That is the reason he asked for
Okay,
$10
I'll
million.
tell you what.